Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is another review. I just like to buy a lot of new products, what can I say? This is on the Colourpop Fem Rosa collection with Karrueche. So I bought just these two pieces. This is the eyeshadow palette and this is the lippy trio. You can buy just the lippy bundle, which comes with 3 of their different lipsticks. I think it's 2 mattes and a gloss. That is regularly $15, but it's on sale right now for $12. And then you can get the collection, which comes with the palette, the lippies, and then there was also like a cheek or a face palette. I believe it had a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight. That whole collection is $40. I did not get the face palette portion of it. I was just kind of trying to be a little strategic with my spending and I chose not to get that. So you can pay $40 for that. They do have the entire kind of PR box and it comes, you know, in like the big PR box and that's $46, but it's pretty much the same items in it. So I cannot see on their website where they are currently selling the eyeshadow palette individually, but that's how I bought it. I bought it individually. So first off, I mean, can we just talk about this packaging? This is just so beautiful. I love all the roses all over. I love all the roses all over this packaging. So this is the Fem Rosa Karrueche and Colourpop collaboration. This is called the She eyeshadow palette. And it looks like this. So no mirror, but you do have, again, these gorgeous roses and it just says Fem Rosa Karrueche and Colourpop. These beautiful just rose and kind of purpley and just warm pink tones. Just beautiful. So this is just, I mean, it's just a very pretty palette. And then the little lippies come in a sleeve. Pull them out and you have 3 little lippies in their little boxes. And this is what they look like. So you get 2 ultra satin lips and you also get an ultra glossy lip. There's this really pretty rose detailing on the packaging. It's got this rose gold band here. And when I bought the set, they had a deal going on where I think if you spent X amount of dollars, I don't know if it was just on the Karrueche collection or just in general, they threw in a bonus lippy, and this is another ultra glossy lip, and it's just this really pretty kind of bronzy color. So I'm curious to see how that looks. So these are the 3 that came in the actual little lippy collection. And again, I don't think you can buy these individually right now. You have Contessa, which is just a very sheer, kind of champagne-y glossy lip. You have MRS, which is a very pretty pink ultra satin. And then you have Darling. And this is just kind of a deeper mauve-y tone. All right, let me swatch the shadows on my arm real quick so you can see those, and then afterwards I'll do live lip swatches. All right, so these are the swatches. After now swatching these colors, I can definitely tell that some of them, you know, there's a lot of different formulas in this palette. You do have a few mattes, you have some shimmers, you have some metallics, and certain ones definitely work better than others. This one right here in particular, I'm thinking that's going to be the kind of shadow that you just absolutely have to use with some kind of wet brush, because even with my finger it just came off really patchy. So right here we have this very, very light champagne color. This is called Chick. It's a metallic formula. This next one over is kind of a peachy color. It's also metallic. It's called Dainty. Then you have this one. It's called Babe. It's a satin. This next one is metallic. It's called Ladylike. This one is metallic as well, called Philly. Another metallic, which this one's the weird kind of patchy formula. This is called Empress. Then this one right here is another metallic called Gal. Another metallic here called Mademoiselle. Then you start getting into your mattes. This one is your first matte. It's called Duchess. I love this color. Next up is Damsel. This one is incredibly patchy, but again, I'm doing a really dark finger swatch, so I'm thinking that this might be the kind of color that if you're just using a brush and lightly blending it through the crease, it might not be so bad. I think it's a lot to ask sometimes for these colors to just be like completely opaque when you swatch them with a finger. This really deep purple color is another matte called Missy, and lastly you have Deer. So these 4 right here are your only mattes in the palette. Everything else is some form of shimmer or metallic. All right, now for the lips. So we'll start with the glossy lips because they're the easiest to remove. So this first one up is the light champagne sheer one. This one is Contessa. Again, it is an ultra glossy lip. me zoom you in. So this is Contessa. This is actually just a really pretty, kind of just nice, shimmery, everyday color. All right, next up, the other ultra glossy lip. This was the one that I got as like a free bonus with my purchase. This one is called Polished. And again, it's an ultra glossy lip. All right, so this is Polished. Next up, I'm gonna do one of the Ultra Satin lips. This is the color MRS, which was the kind of lighter rosy shade. I do love the Ultra Satin lips because they're very comfortable to wear. I do find that they are long lasting, but they're just not super dry. Sometimes their matte lipsticks get really, really dry. So I like this color. It's a lot more peachy. I don't know, when I look at it in the tube, it looks more rosy. On my lips, I feel like it's coming off a lot more peachy pink. But I am okay with that, I like it. And last but not least, the darkest color. This is called Darling. And again, it's an Ultra Satin lip. Ooh, that looks dark. All right, and so this is the shade Darling. I love this color. This is gorgeous. I mean, I didn't expect it. Again, I feel like that's the thing with Colourpop's lippies. They always look like a different color in the tube than they do on your lips, which, you know, it's not the end of the world, but it's a little bit hard to pick out colors. But yeah, I love this color. All right, so I do just want to do a little quick and easy eyeshadow look. Since, you know, we've kind of seen how they work with a swatch, but I do think it's important to see how they work with a brush. So we're just going to do something very, very quick and simple. I don't want to do anything too crazy. Plus, now that I have these dark lips on, I feel like I can go with a lighter eye and it's okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Urban Decay Primer Potion on my lid so that everything goes on nice and even. And there's not a light enough matte tone in here that I would want to set my eyelids with. So I am just going to take some translucent powder and just dust that over the top. Okay, that should give us a nice base to blend on. I think I'm gonna start out with this shade right here, which is Dear. It's kind of the lighter peachy matte. These do have a lot of powdery kick up, so just make sure you tap your brush off and you should be fine. And I'm gonna start lightly working that through the crease. I feel like with these eyeshadows, you can kind of go one of two directions. You can either go the more peachy pink direction, or you go the more like purpley shades. That's pretty much your only options with this palette. But I mean, that's, you know, I'm fine with that. I mean, it's very similar to the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, where it's nothing but very similar warm toned eyeshadows. You can only really do a handful of looks with them. This is a lot like that, just much cheaper, because when I bought the palette by itself, it was just $16. Like I said, I don't see it online for sale alone at this time, but I'm sure they will bring it back for individual sale. But I mean, $40 to get the 3 lippies palette and the eyeshadow palette, I think that's pretty good as well. So I am going to go in with a more tapered brush into this deeper shade right here. This is called Damsel. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that, tap it off real good, and I'm just gonna focus this in the actual socket just to kind of deepen it up so that we have a little bit of depth, and then again on the outer portion. And I will say these shadows are incredibly pigmented. You know, I mean, like I said, I don't feel like swatching on your arm is a true judge of an eyeshadow, because I feel like, you know, they perform differently sometimes, whether you use a brush or your finger. So I didn't really know what to expect with the matte shades, especially since some of them swatched kind of patchy. But I mean, I barely touched my brush into this deeper color, and I'm kind of like, oh gosh, that's too much color, you know. It's like it got too much on my brush, I wasn't expecting it. So I would say that that is a good sign. So I'm gonna just kind of go back in with a clean brush and blend through, because like I said, I do feel like I got a little more than I bargained for. And then I'm gonna go back in just a touch more, just on this one eye, because I feel like the left eye got the brunt of the color, or I just didn't realize, you know, how much pigment it had at first. So I just need to even them out. Clean brush again. All right. Very simple, very easy. Next up, I want to take this color right here, which is called Duchess, and it was just a very peachy pink color. I don't know. I'm just going to put this on the lid, only on the outer half, just using a flat brush. Then I'm going back in with this fluffy brush, which I've cleaned off again, and I'm just kind of making sure that it blends into the other colors along the outer portion and in the crease. That's that. Okay, and then I'm going to take that same flat brush. Let's see how this, just knocked over a bunch of stuff. All right, I'm gonna take that same flat brush, and I don't know how this color is going to work with the brush, so we'll try it with a brush first, and we might go with the finger afterwards, but I'm gonna take this color right here. This was Mademoiselle. When I swatched it, it just was a gorgeous color, so this was the one I really wanted to use. And I'm just gonna pat it on the lid, basically from the center of the lid all the way to the inner corner. Okay, I feel like that worked really nicely with a brush. So it's kind of funny now that I'm putting it on my lid, it almost seems like it's coming off very similar to the tone of this other color. When I look at it up close, it's not that similar, but similar enough that I feel like I need a little something. So I am going to take that brush again, blend it together. I think what I'll do is I'll go back into the shimmery color, Mademoiselle, and I'm just gonna take it a little bit farther. So go a little bit farther than halfway. So I'm kind of merging it, because I just kind of felt like it was like an abrupt stop, and they weren't different enough. Again, blend the edges with a clean brush. All right, and then I want to just take a brighter color, so I'm going to go with this one, which is Ladylike. And I'm using just a more flat, kind of compact brush, popping that on my inner corner. And then I'm going to drag it up onto the lid just a little bit, just to brighten the very beginning. All right, and then for the lower lash line, I think I'm going to go with this color. Yeah, that is definitely super pigmented, because I really would have expected to have to dip back in again, and I really didn't. I was able to do the entire lower lash line with just one dip. And apologies if you hear the lawnmower again. I swear I have like the worst timing with filming. Then take a pencil brush, and I'm gonna go into, oops, that's not a pencil brush, and then go into the pretty bright pink color, which was Duchess. Tap it off and run it kind of on top of and underneath. And then I do just want to go into the deep purple color, Missy, and just tap that right on the outer portion of the lower lash line, just to deepen that up a bit. All right, and that's it. I'm just gonna add some mascara real quick. I don't think I'm gonna do any lashes. I wanna leave the eyes very light, so be right back. All right, so this is it. Like I said, just something, I say simple and easy. It was simple and easy in terms of being just a few eyeshadow colors, and I feel like it looks kind of nice and dramatic. So I kind of like that about this palette. I like it when I can take a palette and do something really easy with it and it looked like I put a lot of effort into it. I mean, you guys saw it didn't take a lot of effort at all. So I really like this. For $16, you can't beat it. You really can't go wrong with Colourpop in general. They're so affordable. And I mean, they've been killing it with some of these launches lately. I mean, just one after another. I'm still trying to get my hands on the Yes Please palette, and every single time I try, it's sold out. So may try snag this one. Hopefully I'll get that one the next time they release it, and then I can do a look with that. But yeah, overall, I love the Fem Rosa collection. I think it's beautiful. You know, if you're into these tones, then I'd say pick it up. If you like these lippies, I think the bundle's a great deal. I mean, it's Colourpop. You can't go wrong with Colourpop. So hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm sure there will be more to come because I have a shopping addiction. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.